Guys, I want to go into a concept here with you. And this is going to relate to Ascended Master material. There's going to be some higher level stuff. Certainly your Blue Lodge folks won't know anything. Actually, I'd say most people under 33 won't know much about this. Not that that really matters anyway. But guys, you'll notice on my messages, I'll talk about government. I'll talk about things that need to be changed. Things that could be better. And some might wonder, well, how is that a channeled message? What does that have to do with spirituality? It just sounds like somebody ranting. Cuz guys, you got to know who the message is coming from. You got to know a thing or two about these spiritual entities, masters. Guys, when I go on messages talking about governance, who you think the message is coming from? I know folks who do their research and read books will know where I'm going with this. But for all the ones who only talk about wealth, prosperity, and shuffle cards and don't really dive much deeper than that, I make this harder for y'all. And it's because I expect more from you. No, guys, I'm channeling messages none other than from El Morya, Chohan of the First Ray, one of the oldest Ascended Masters. He's on the ray of God's will. Certainly, part of his duty is to start the fire. And part of his role is over governance. That's why if you look at his incarnations, he's with royalty. King Arthur, Abraham, David. It's also a big reason why your folks in Blue Lodge and in your dark occults do not like El Morya. They like Cthulhu. They like the other ones, not El Morya. Why? Because El Morya scolds them. El Morya sees what they're doing. Because what they're doing is wrong. Which is why they don't like him. And a lot of times when he comes back and you have a vessel that's going to be used by him, maybe even a step in, they usually try to take that vessel out of the picture. Because they want to keep on going with their facade, their illusion, their game. But it's God's will to keep the pendulum swinging. I just made a reference to something called a step-in. Some of you might be wondering, what in the world is that? A step-in is something that any of the Ascended Masters can do. God gives them the ability to do this. And you usually see this when God wishes to execute a plan, his will. And he wants to choose, he has chosen a vessel to do so. Maybe because of the life stream that vessel is, where they are in their karmic cycle. And what happens is, unfortunately, the vessel will die. So God sends in an ascended master to step in to the vessel. Now, I guess they don't always have to die. Sometimes there's temporary step-ins. This is a more esoteric lesson. Like I said, guys, you're either going to get it or you're not. I don't care if you don't. But this is what I mean. This is when I'm channeling messages and I talk about governance and I don't shuffle cards or talk about warm, fuzzy feeling stuff. It's more of a chastising message. There's a reason. And it indeed is a channeled message. Not all spirituality is about butterflies and gumdrops and snow cones and getting rich. It's also how you know that you're talking to somebody who actually has a real message to say. The dark occult wants you to keep hearing about get-rich-quick schemes. That's the same thing that the false church is preaching. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Not everybody's going to get rich. And just because you tap into your spirituality don't mean you're going to get rich. Will God take care of you? Will God give you more than you expect? For sure. Yeah. But if you expect to get wealthy because you could say some abundance prayer, it don't work like that. Some folks don't get rich. But you'll notice one thing about people who God does bless with wealth. A lot of times those folks were more worried about being in God's will, being in alignment with the Creator than they were about getting rich. And as a result of their obedience, God blessed them with wealth. Not because of it. Because you see, God sees. He sees the desires of your heart. He also sees what you're capable of in that moment. And He knows. He knows whether you can handle a bunch of money or not. And guys, I'm going to tell you, sometimes wealth will be the source of your destruction if you're not ready for it. So in a way, God might be looking out for you by not giving you a pile of money when you want it. I know that's not easy to hear. A lot of people don't want to hear a message like that. All they want to hear about is things that make them feel good. But guys, that's not the truth. Lies feel good, but the truth can sting sometimes. But you know what the truth does? You know what the truth does that a lie doesn't do? It heals you. When you have a wound, you got a wound, and you cover it. You cover it up. Eventually, you need to expose it and put some application on it. Maybe some clean it, peroxide. But what does it do when you put it on there, on that wound? It stings, don't it? Whoo! Just like the truth. Y'all have a good one.